So it's really easy to get wrapped up in the whole recognition game within academic research or within academia because that's how we actually get rewarded often. If other people are not, there's this whole real weird structure, right? Like if other people are not paying attention to you, then you don't get the rewards. But if you pay attention to whether other people are paying attention to you, then you're sort of conceived to be really awkward, I guess, right? I don't know how to explain it, but it's a thing that we all sort of struggle with is dealing with the sort of shame of thinking about recognition. And I think it's incredibly important to what we actually do. We know that that's the only way you actually um, get a job is through recognition. That's the only way you get promotions and all of those kind of things is through recognition from others. And it's what is called this a status hierarchy or a system based on status, where other people have to defer to your judgment. But the only way that you can get people to defer to your judgment is if people are actually paying attention to what you're actually saying and doing. And at least for me, it comes with a whole bunch of complicated emotions. And I know people that are listening to this from outside of the academic game are saying, like, that's the way it is everywhere. No, it's not the exact same thing. I don't think people understand how intertwined it actually is and how systematic it actually is within what we actually do as PhDs and researchers. So I vastly struggle with this. In terms of how to deal with this, right? Like, I think I tend to quite a bit err on the not the sort of self-promotion kind of stuff that happens. It's extraordinarily built into the system where you have to do this self-promotion. Just go on LinkedIn and it will crack you up. In fact, the reason why I don't like doing it, it's not necessarily because of me. I'm thinking about the other person on the other side. Because I know when I see that, it does not make me feel good in any sort of way. It's not something that I actually want to do the sort of congratulatory stuff because I reflect on my own self and my own insecurities, and I think that I'm not good enough. Um, and it's just for me, I think this is very much human nature to go through that. And so I very much struggle with ideas of what it means to actually do self promotion. And frankly, I'm really ashamed of any of it. And I'm ashamed of the fact that I even have these feelings of that I want self promotion. I think it's always, if you sort of, I grew up in a um, very religious family, very Roman Catholic, and I went to church every weekend. And this is a big part of living a good life is trying to live humbly in the sense of not trying to do self promotion. And I see the struggle in a lot of people. And I think we all fall prey to it. And it's very complicated because we're not supposed to do that, but then we get rewarded on that in the academic game. And I struggle with it in terms of finding out the right amount. I, so here's the thing is that if you don't do it, you often get passed over. But if you do it, you think about other people. And I struggle with the right balance actually is, particularly as I move along in my career. The other thing that's important to understand is that within the academic game, there's not a whole lot of mobility that actually happens. I thought there was when I started out, but I don't think that that's actually the case anymore. Um, so I think the best thing to deal with all of this is to just try to be as best as you possibly can for who you are. And so that means if you do it and you need to do it, then by all means, do the self promotion kind of stuff. And if that makes you feel better at that given moment, then by all means, do it. If on the other side, you feel ashamed of actually doing it, then don't do it. I think it's this complicated game of trying to find yourself that is never quite straightforward. And I think that there is no good way of dealing with any of this. So if you do feel ashamed of self promotion and all of the wanting of recognition, no, you're not alone. There's many other people like you out there, including me.